Cursed Bunny is a 2017 collection of short stories by the South Korean author Bora Chung. Born in Seoul in 1976, Chung studied Russian culture and Slavic literature at the universities of Yale, then Indiana, where she gained a PhD. She's the author of 3 novels and 2 collections of short stories. Cursed Bunny was shortlisted for the International Booker Prize. It originated in a competition run by a Korean speculative web magazine. The idea was to produce a short fiction anthology based on the Asian zodiac. Most animals were taken before Chung could pick, leaving only sheep and rabbit. She chose the latter, and reasoning that rabbits are generally considered cuddly, thought she'd have a better chance of avoiding cliches if she went in the opposite direction. Cursed Bunny contains 10 stories in all, mostly contemporary horror with a satirical twist. 2 of the pieces, Scars and Ruler of the Winds and Sands, are fantasy tales apparently inspired by the Samguk Yusa, a compendium of 13th century Korean folklore. The interest of the remaining 8, apart from their entertainment value, lies partly in their critique of South Korean society and sometimes of society generally. In an interview with the Korea Herald in 2022, Chung said, "I still don't think I understand the Korean society I live in, and I'm constantly confused. I describe the world as I see it, and so my stories come out as confusing and dark." Many of the stories have a cautionary aspect. Someone does something wrong, and they suffer grotesquely as a result. The most blatant example is probably the title story, in which a dead man gives an account of a fetish he made, a lamp shaped like a rabbit sitting under a tree, to punish a ruthless capitalist who sent his friend to an early grave. For anyone who strokes the blighted object, gruesome consequences follow, even for those who bear no direct responsibility for the wrongdoing. Many of the stories have a similar edge of social criticism. The second, The Embodiment, is about a young woman who becomes pregnant, not despite taking birth control pills, but because of it. She simply didn't follow the instructions correctly. Afterwards, a malevolent female gynecologist tells her she simply must find a father for the child, otherwise the consequences will be too horrific to contemplate. Her family tries to help. What follows is a satire on the Korean Seoul dating scene. Dating with marriage is its ultimate goal. The protagonist meets a succession of men ranging from unsuitable to highly unsuitable. The best is probably an ambulance driver who, although he seems likeable, is commitment phobic. Others include an 80-something gangster, an extortionist, and someone who thinks reciting chunks of Romeo and Juliet is a good cold conversational opener. Chung's other big theme is waste and our relation to it. The first story, Head, won a Yonsei Literature Prize and concerns a woman who unwittingly creates a living head from the things she flushes down her toilet, including her own excrement. The head begs her to let it live, but motivated largely by disgust, she repeatedly tries to kill it. The last story takes place in Poland and addresses themes of entrapment and escape. It makes a brief connection between World War II and the Korean War, and explores the way in which major conflicts always scar people. This is an ambitious collection, worth reading for its take on South Korean society alone. South Korea's suicide rate is one of the highest in the world, just below Russia's, which is perhaps understandable given that they've got one of the world's worst tyrants firing rockets over their heads every so often. But seeking help for mental illness is still stigmatized, and that must make matters worse. Given those facts, it wouldn't be remotely surprising if South Korean authors chose to continue ploughing the contemporary horror with a satirical twist furrow. I hope things will change, but we'll see.